We've done our fair share of videos comparing the PS5 and Xbox Series X, looking at game exclusive for the consoles, and highlighted reasons why one should buy one or the other. For the most part, we've kept everything regarding the two consoles and their games positive, as everyone seems to be excited and hyped for the future of console gaming. However, as we know, with the good also comes the bad. And after Sony's most recent showcase for the PS5, in which they revealed the pricing and release date for their next consoles, they also showed off more of what's to come, games-wise. Among the games, there were some very impressive trailers, with games such as Harry Potter and Final Fantasy XVI, as well as God of War 2 getting people talking immediately afterward. However, the showcase also highlighted some awful looking games, and after seeing what we saw, well, we decided it was only right to start bashing some of the worst PS5 games. Today on Life's Biggest Questions, we're counting down the top 10 worst PS5 games you should avoid. How's it going, guys? Welcome back to LBQ. I'm your host, Jared Bronstein, and today's video is based off of general reviews I've seen online and my personal opinion based on what I've seen from trailers and previous games. As always, be sure to stick around to the end of this one for some comment replies from another video, and let me know your thoughts on all that we cover at the end of it. For now, let's get to counting. Kicking off our list at number 10, we got Stray. When I googled Stray PS5, the first headline I read was, I quote, "Stray is a futuristic cat simulator for PS4 and PS5. Now, if that's not enough of a reason to avoid this game, I really don't know what is. It is expected to be released in 2021, and the trailer pretty much just shows a cat walking around a futuristic looking city, meowing and climbing on top of things. A description from Steam explains Stray as, I quote, "Lost, alone, and separated from family, a stray cat must untangle an ancient mystery to escape a long-forgotten city. Stray is a third-person cat adventure game set amidst the detailed neon-lit alleys of a decaying cyber city and the murky environments of its seedy underbelly. Roam surroundings high and low, defend against unforeseen threats, and solve the mysteries of this unwelcoming place, inhabited by nothing but unassuming droids and dangerous creatures. See the world through the eyes of a stray and interact with the environment in playful ways. Be stealthy, nimble, silly, and sometimes as annoying as possible with the strange inhabitants of this foreign world. Along the way, the cat befriends a small flying drone known only as B-12. With the help of his newfound companion, the duo try to find a way out. Stray is developed by Blue 12 Studio, a small team from south of France mostly made of cats and a handful of humans. I mean, maybe after a few tokes it'd be fun, but I don't see this one being a hit." At number 9, Madden 21. For the most part, year after year, sports games are literally the same thing as their predecessors, with small adjustments such as roster updates and changes to game modes. This year, Madden 21 is quite literally that, as fans have been complaining and giving it negative reviews since the game came out. Currently, it's available for the PS4 and Xbox One, but of course it will be available for the PS5 and Series X when they drop in November. That being said, even if you're a Madden fan, you may want to sit this one out as the reviews have been pretty horrendous. IGN gave it a 6 out of 10, while Metacritic gave it a 63%, and the most common review is that EA needs to rehaul the entire game because it's starting to feel incredibly stale. There is the backyard style 6-on-6 gameplay called The Yard, which has been a hit, but there seems to be way more negative than positives when speaking on Madden 21. Safe to say you may want to play on Madden 20 until 22 comes out, or this one goes on a major sale. At number 8, Heavenly Bodies. Have you ever been sitting at home playing your console and just thought, damn, I wish there was a game that I would be able to work on a space station while dealing with the impacts of having no gravity? Well, then Heavenly Bodies may be for you. The game will use the left and right bumpers to move your legs, while the analog joysticks and triggers will control your hands as you float around space and try to repair a piece of NASA's equipment. I don't know about the last part, I made that part about the NASA equipment, but the PlayStation blog explains the game as, I quote, "At its heart, Heavenly Bodies is a game about tactility, physicality, and motion. In this way, it's important to us that your cosmic body and your environmental surroundings feel as well as they move. With the shiny new features coming in PS5's DualSense controller, we're exploring all sorts of ways you'll be able to experience the weight, texture, density, energy, and vibration of every tool, device, and surface you come into contact with. There's potential for it to be cool, but I don't know about this one. You're just kind of like floating in space and having a hard time controlling your body and limbs. I don't know." Now at 7, Just Dance 2021. I mean, I really don't have much to say about this game, other than the previous games were awful, so I don't see any reason why someone would have interest in buying this year's version as well. It's definitely a popular series, which is why they've come out with numerous games year after year. But much like sports games, this is the same thing year after year, and the only update made is the musical choices available. I'd understand after a while you'd want some other options to dance to, but at the same time there are other consoles such as the Wii, which will give a much better gaming experience. Or just go to your local arcade and do it properly on Dance Dance Revolution with the bar behind you and those people who stomp like crazy. Like, you know, the ones that go really hard. Just do that. At number 6, Recompile. It's a hacking themed game, and although the gameplay looks incredibly visually amazing, I'm not sure how the game itself will fare. I do like the idea that depending on which path you take, the game will adjust accordingly. What I don't love about it is the idea that it seems to be an adventure game of sorts where you're playing a virus that is capable of hacking, combat, and travel. Although the idea of the game does seem like an interesting one, I feel there isn't enough of a storyline for one to really get invested. Again, this is just my opinion, so I'd love to hear your thoughts below, but I just don't think this game is going to be much of a hit. The trailer was visually appealing, but that's about it. At number 5, Destruction All-Stars. The best comparison I've seen for this game is that it's Fortnite in cars and it's going to cost you $70. As you can imagine, people weren't overly excited when the trailer for Destruction All-Stars came out, and for good reason. It's a PS5 exclusive, which TechRadar describes as an eclectic mishmash of Twisted Metal and Fortnite. It appears that the battle stars with everyone inside high-powered vehicles, and then the action transitions into a frantic free-for-all as you try to stop your driver from being run over. Now, if it's anything like Twisted Metal, that's a huge win. And it seems the two games are similar, at least when it comes to the graphics. Only issue here is that Twisted Metal was originally released in 1996, so may not be such a great comparison. Now at 4, Dying Light 2. I mean, it's a sequel, so odds are this one will do somewhat well when it comes to sales. That being said, there is no expected release date, as the game has been postponed indefinitely. A 4K gameplay trailer was released, and let's just say it's comparable to a zombie game you would play at the arcade. The game itself doesn't look all that bad, but there were definitely some moments in the trailer that made me question how or why they were releasing the game in the first place. Odds are this is why it's been delayed indefinitely, but all in all, why not just grab Call of Duty and play zombies on there? That's what Dying Light 2 seems like, a lesser version of zombies on Call of Duty. Now, it is a Square Enix and Techland game, so there is definitely a ton of potential, as this was one of the teams behind Final Fantasy, which is expected to be a major title for the console. But that could be even more reason for Dying Light 2 to be a letdown, as Square Enix is going to be putting all their efforts into FF16. On to number 3, Goodbye Volcano High. If you saw the trailer for this game, you'd understand why it's on this list. But even the following explanation of the game from their official website will likely help you understand how bad it's going to be. I quote, "It's the final year of high school, and graduation looms on the horizon. Will the students of Volcano High have enough time to figure themselves out before it's all over? Is it too late to tell their crush how they feel? Are they even ready for what comes next?" Goodbye Volcano High is a cinematic narrative game about the end of an era and the beginning of a love story. I'm not really sure what else I could say to change your mind about this one, as you're a furry looking dinosaur thing who's trying to navigate around your last year of high school while figuring out how to deal with emotions, I guess. I'm not sure how or why it's being developed, but all I'm going to say is I wish the team all the best. On to number 2, WRC 9 FIA World Rally Champions. That's a mouthful of a title. I mean, the flagship titles for the PlayStation and Xbox are Gran Turismo and Forza respectively, so to purchase any other racing game for either console would likely only be able to play with your friends cross-console. That's not to say the game itself is necessarily bad, but this year around, GT7 is expected to be a big upgrade from previous years. They've implemented a new way to source cars into the game, so the amount of options available in the new Turismo game will be better than ever. Although WRC has already confirmed they'll be dropping a 10th and 11th game, and considering how they've dropped a game every year since 2011 with the exception of 2014, you kinda know what you're gonna get. Much like other sports games, this one will feature new cars and tracks, and a new soundtrack. But again, just grab GT7 if you want to race. Now in at number 1, we got Bugsnax. Likely the most talked about for all the wrong reasons following the showcase, Bugsnax really stole the show. And not in a good way. It's by the same creator as Octodad, and is best explained by the president of Young Horses, who is developing the game, Philip Tibitowski. Speaking with US Gamer, he explained, I quote, "Bugsnax is a first-person adventure game where you play as a journalist who is sent a mysterious film from an adventurer named Elizabeth Megafig. She says she's found these things called Bugsnax, these half-snack, half-bug creatures, and she wants you to come and document her discovery with her group of misfit followers. You go to the island, you find that she is nowhere to be found, and instead run into some of her followers. You're tasked with figuring out what makes the Bugsnax tick and what happens when they're eaten. As Tibitowski explained, your character will change as they eat Bugsnax, I quote, with their limbs and bodies turning into foods like curly fries, strawberries, or weenies." I don't even know what else to say, guys. I'm just gonna leave it there with what he said, and you guys can just form your own opinions on that one. And there you guys have it for the top 10 worst PS5 games you should avoid. Do you guys agree or disagree with this list? Again, this list shouldn't determine what games you personally buy or don't buy, as it was curated using reviews, previous titles, and my own opinion. Just because I don't like something doesn't mean you won't, and vice versa. After all, I am an Xbox guy. Anyways guys, for now let's reply to some comments from the video. Is there life on Venus? CZ Johnson said, "Why is the storm cloud on Jupiter red, but the storm clouds here are gray?" You know what? I'm not an astrophysicist. I'm not a weatherman. I'm not a cloud kind of guy. So, couldn't tell ya. But it'd be cool to do a video. I'm gonna say it has something to do with like the gases and oxygen and chemical compounds and things that are way over my head. Kevin Hernandez said, "Imagine they're able to bring whatever microorganisms is out there and it becomes a deadly virus that eradicates the human population." You know, when I read your comment, I fully just thought of like a current pandemic, and I'm like, what if this is some sort of space disease? I know, they say it started in Wuhan, and I'm not trying to be like a theory kind of guy here, But what if it is some kind of space disease that, you know, NASA brought it back and nobody even realizes it? Like, they don't know. It's not like they know and they're not telling anybody. They don't realize they did this. They put something out in space, something got attached to that, we brought it back to Earth, and then it just spread all over the world. Who knows, man? It's Loading said 035, quoting me, saying, Venus the neighboring country to Earth. Venus is a planet, not a country. Yes, it is. Look, I make mistakes, guys, I'm human, but thankfully, got the comment section where It's Loading timestamps my mistakes and corrects them so everybody understands what I meant to say. So, It's Loading, I really appreciate that, my man. I feel like majority of the viewers did think Venus might have been a country, so thank you for clarifying that it's a planet. I was a little confused too, but now I know. Anyways, guys, that's all for this one. I've been your host here at Bronstein. You guys have been listening to LBQ, and we'll see you in the next one.